Welcome back to another Shiftedlands player interview, and today we have Erin.
Hello.
And Erin, what character do you play?
All right. So I play Parchment, who is a goblin who is currently going down the path of medium.
Awesome. And so, can you tell us a little bit about Parchment then? Like, what made you pick medium,
Okay.
or Goblin too?
So it's kind of both in one. Um when I was creating a character, I was looking through the races and goblin caught my eye and I was like, "All right, let's check it out." And I noticed that it was kind of uh combat oriented with like the, waylay reduction and all that. So it was like, what if I took Goblin and made it a caster instead and played the most inefficient fucking thing for sorry.
You feel
Played the
free.
most inefficient character ever. Um because goblins can't use psionics. And I know that you covered goblins.
Yeah,
And I saw that and I think it was pretty
a
good.
lot of people play alternative pathways to what their race potentially suggests.
Mhm.
And like my brother, he plays Dervish Ghoul, and Ghoul does not have a reduction at all, like no reductions.
Yeah.
And so it's like people really think that you have to have a reduction to play a thing, but it really doesn't.
No. And it also doesn't help like, playing a caster when you can't use an entire pull. Uh, but even then, psionics is psionics.
Yeah,
I don't touch. I wouldn't touch it even
it's
with another
really not
character.
a bad. It's really not a bad detriment, to be honest. Cannot use
Yeah,
psionics doesn't really cut you out for much.
yeah, and I think it's like two
It's
extra pool, five extra.
it's like three. I think it's a three cost. I think it might be two. You might be right. I
I don't
mean,
know.
but
I think, but yeah.
so what brought you
Um,
into LARPing then?
so I about like a year and a half prior, I had gotten into D&D, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I had done like online roleplay before this, and I had just kind of been interested in character development, role playing, and all that. And before being brought into it, I was like, okay, I know this sounds really cool, but this is a different type of nerd, and I'm like, you don't know how ready I am.
Yeah.
So I just went in, and I haven't regretted it. It's really fun. I like
So,
it.
so then what particularly brought you to Shifted Lands as opposed to just LARPing? Because I was very much
Um,
the same way when it came to LARPing. I looked it up on my own, found the thing, went to it because I was just like, this looks cool as hell. But what
yeah,
what brought
no,
you to
sorry.
Shifted Lands?
What brought me to Shifted Land specifically? Um, some of my friends are playing it. Oh God, Jeeves and I forget what Jeremy Kelly plays, but him as well. Um, they played Shifted Lands as well, and they kind of brought me into it. Jeremy Kelly, not actually no, not Jeremy Kelly, because he was introduced as a friend after I joined.
He plays a
But
Naka.
yeah, Anaka, yeah, that's his name. Um, yeah, Jeeves and just that group of people brought me in, and that's how I got into LARPing and Shift Lands. Sorry.
Nice. No, that's awesome. So then what has your experience been with Shifted Lands? I don't know how long you've been playing because I have just came back from the Great Plague.
Um, um, my first game was June 2022.
Awesome.
So it's just over a year now.
Sweet, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. I think I just hit like 150 build,
That's a
and that
pretty
was
nice
was
number
with
to
like
be at.
like yeah, and that was with like a lot of blankets from excuse me, like stuff points. Yeah. Um, as like a lower build character, it's fun. I like it. Um, Monster Camp makes sure that there's like tons of mods for like the lower people, uh, lower pool people.
Yeah, the less
um,
experienced travelers.
yeah, the invalid.
How do you feel
Um,
about that? Like the fact that there's such a like, because that's this is a more unique question, I guess, to this
mhm.
interview because I haven't asked anybody else really about it. But what do you feel about the fact that there's such a huge gap between like the most experienced characters, like with the highest build and the lowest.
It can definitely be a challenge sometimes, especially when there's like people who are like higher build who you like you want to like play with and role play with and go on mods with, and then you can't, and then you can't because if you go you'll probably die.
Yeah.
Um uh so it's tough sometimes, but honestly it's not a big deal. Because even in like big fights there's still stuff for like little people to do. Like for example, Parchment tends to heal people and give them a grant armor as much as she can because that's all she really can do.
Yeah. Great armor's a
um,
great spell.
yeah, I've been holding on to a uh grant oh, what's the big healing spell? Sorry.
Oh, like a cure
Um,
wounds or a grant life.
uh, yeah, cure wounds. The highest one. I forget what it's called.
Serious wounds, I think
Mortal,
it's
mortal.
mortal wounds. Yeah.
It's mortal. Yeah, I have a grant cure mortal wounds that I've been like holding on to for a while to like hit a like a big undead with.
Yeah.
But it's just been like I don't want to use it yet because what if it's just like useless, or what if I miss,
What if
and
they just say resist?
what if they just
That's
say
the worst.
resist? Yeah, it's like all right, I'm gonna do this. Grant cure mortal wound resist. Oh,
Damn. Yeah.
and
That's
it's like okay.
that's something I actually encounter a lot when I'm NPCing is like I'll be squishing and they'll be like, "Hey, you have like two resists and a dodges, please use them." But like
Yeah,
but a newer person will come up and they'll have, they'll have like 25 knavery or something and they'll use a master, 200 on behind your back and it's like, do I really
don't want
want
to be
this
a
new person to use like 7 pool for me to just say resist?
and then you shatter their day. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you shatter their weapon.
Um. Yeah. Shatter their weapon, shatter their day, both. Yeah.
Like it's
I'm
a
sorry,
tough.
we went completely off topic.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, like I think about that type of stuff when I'm NPCing a lot because I really,
Mm.
as somebody who's been in that position and like been like paralyzed, 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 and just heard resist, 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 and been like, oh, that was
Well,
15 pool, like, and I
I'm
only
done
got
for
like
today. Yeah.
60 of it. Yeah. So then, what is the? So yeah, we'll move more back to the questions. So what is an
Yeah.
archetype of your character, or slash, what do you try to portray with your character?
For Parchment, I feel like she tries to uh be just more calm and collected than the average goblin. I'm sorry if I'm misinterpreting your question.
Oh, no worries.
um
It's totally open to interpretation.
um I feel like she tries to like avoid being a goblin even though she is a goblin. Um it and I think I'm doing good as that.
Does her backstory
um
have anything to do with that?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Why don't you go into that?
Oh, okay. Everyone who's listening, out of game. If you bring this up in game, I will kill you.
Okay, so
But I
don't
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 care.
metagame. Metagame warning. Don't metagame this.
In game, I will kill you. And then probably be executed like Beazle was.
Oh,
Anyways,
no,
hi,
not Beazle.
hi Beazle. Anyway, uh, so her entire tribe was slaughtered, and she was basically taken in by uh basically what was a like parental figure to her, and basically taught, all right, if you're a goblin, people will probably kill you or hurt you, so we're not gonna do that. And she was just basically like, all right, and she just kind of became more human like.
Yeah, so like somebody like a the archetype of like a person being raised by wolves and they become like the wolves, but it's like vice
Basically,
versa.
but like inverted, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. So have you had the chance to go through any arcs with Parchment yet?
No, the closest that I've had was writing a letter to her grandma. Grandma, quote in quotes, the person who basically took her in. Um, and apparently she's in like a town somewhere. She got swallowed by the mist too.
Ah,
So that's the closest I've gotten for that. But hopefully soon.
yeah.
Not soon, but hopefully eventually.
Like one archetype that, or like one quote unquote arc that my friend Minus talked about in the last
Mhm.
interview. He was like, "Well, I've only played 3 games, but I got to do this cool roleplay thing." So like, what's a cool roleplay situations that you found
Oh,
yourself in yet so far?
so this was a good few months back. We needed to get some artifacts to for a ritual, and it was me and two other PCs who went along. It was a while back. I don't remember who. And they were kind of like talking for a while, and then I think they let me just kind of talk to him for a bit. And
Like you
I can't
encountered
remember
somebody
what.
with that was like, so you were going on this quest for artifacts, and you
Yeah,
encountered somebody that was like holding the
it
artifact.
was. So it was. I didn't explain that properly. My bad.
No worries.
So we knew exactly who it was and where they lived. So we went to visit them, and it was a like an ornery old gnome.
Oh, a gnome.
Uh,
That's
yeah, he was like
interesting.
an old gnome man, and we were like, "Hey, we need this." It was his first penny, I think,
Oh,
or quarter, first quarter, something like that. His first coin of some kind. Oh, it wouldn't be a quarter; it would
it
be
would
a
be
copper.
copper.
My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
my
first
bad.
copper.
His first copper. So we were like, "Hey, we need this for a ritual, and it'll save a bunch of people." And he was like, "Well, this means a lot to me. I can't part with it." And that's where Parchment was able to relate, and she was like, "I I understand what you mean. I've had to part with stuff that meant a lot to me too, and it's really hard." And
And you
he
got to
kind
like
of got
convince.
pretty, yeah, and he got kind of threatening, and he was
Oh,
like, "What if I took all of your memories right now?" And he placed a hand on my head, and I was like, "To save people, sure, why not?" And he's like,
so that's some hero
"All
shit.
right,
Some hero stuff right
yeah."
there.
She got to do some hero shit. um, and he was like, "All right, I like you. You can promise that this is gonna save people." And she promised to him, and it did.
Yeah,
The bigger people ended up doing that though, but it did.
I really love the when like the quests that the younger traveler, quote unquote younger travelers get to go on, like the lower build characters, they go
Hmm.
on quests that then help all the bigger people to solve, quote unquote,
Yeah.
solve the plot. Not that like plots are meant to be solved, but like to further the plot later on.
Hmm.
I really like that's like always been a really good archetype for the younger traveler adventures, which is like this will help them later on.
Yeah. It's really good. Because it's just like we don't get left out. Uh, and we get included in the plot, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Uh, that's one of my favorite parts about Shifted Land is never really feeling left out, except for when you do.
Except for
But
when they go on the
that's a
mod without you. It's
and
very
then they go on the
unfortunate.
mod without you because you were in the bar and getting something, and then they left because they didn't know you wanted to go, and now you're kind of sad.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I like that's not really like nobody goes out of their way to do shit like that. It's just, I've had
Absolutely
that
not.
happen to me too. It's just you go to the bathroom and you come back and you're like, "Where'd everybody go?" And it's like, "They went on this
Um,
crazy adventure to slay a dragon." And you're like, "Shit."
man, and I that hasn't happened to me yet, but it nearly did. Last event, I was in the bathroom, and then everyone was gone from the gutted pig, and I'm like, where did everyone go? I know we were just talking about going somewhere, but like everyone's gone. Where did they go?
There's a rift just sitting in the corner. Nobody's in
It
there.
no, I looked outside and people were just like convening over near the fire pit. I'm like, oh, okay, shit, nice.
Yep.
I
That's
didn't
the
miss
move.
anything.
Yeah. So,
Um, I'm
what's
pretty sure that was. Sorry,
no, you go.
I think that was for the two boat mod where they like threw down the plank and then they boarded onto
Oh
my ship.
yeah.
That was really fun.
Oh, that was dude. I
That
was
was that was like right after I concentrated into nature, so I was just like, I call upon nature spirits to cure light wounds. I call upon nature spirits to cure light wounds. I call upon nature spirits to cure light wounds. That is the lowest on pool I've ever been in an event. Let me just say.
Yeah. Like, dude, that mod
Um,
was so much fun.
it
Like,
was
even
real fun.
that's why I love NPCing is because you get to just do cool shit. Like, I mean, like cannons and shit. Like the Packet War. I love Packet
Yeah,
War games. That's
Packet
just
War was fun.
uh. But like for people that didn't happen to go on the mod or something, but essentially it was two boats that were like side by side, and we had them fizz wrapped. Like we had like, hey, this is your boat. This is the size of your boat, and
We
they
also had fizz reps for the sail.
for the sail and the mast that like could go up and down. And there was the opposing boat, which was on the other side of the mod building, was
Hmm.
also fully fizz wrapped and had undeads that were maelstroming like cannons.
Yeah,
And so it was like a ship cannon battle, but with maelstroms. It was really fun.
it was extremely fun.
Yeah.
And the following ship mod later that night was also really fun. It was pretty similar, but it was just like our one boat. It was just one big boat
Yeah.
instead of two small boats.
Dude, that was such a crazy mod too with I got to
Hmm.
play a man, the monster I got to play on that mod was insane. It was like I got to play the
What were
body
you?
I was a uh I was a elder undead troll, which is
Oh,
just take undead troll and then give it an undead metabolism and like basic undead skills. And then I
okay.
was also a 150 rogue bodyguard.
Oh,
It was
fun.
actually dirt nasty fun to do that.
That
Um,
is dirt nasty.
I stood in front of the whole town for like a good 10 seconds, and then I like thought to myself, like I was doing the math, and I was like, oh, I still have rogue. Like I still like I'm not out yet. Um, and
Like,
then
all right.
yeah, because bodyguard does all this defensive shit for dirt cheap.
Yeah,
Um, and then yeah, that was like really fun. But that was like
I
a really
think
solid
my
mod.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite part about the mod, but it was something that got a little chuckle out of me. Um, I think Papageno and Max pulled a Titanic, and I just heard Papageno yell, "I'm the king of the world!" and the the captain's just like, "Not on my ship, you're not." I'm just like,
Yeah,
all right,
having the
that's funny.
captain yelling orders from up top too is pretty flavorful.
Yeah, that. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was another thing, a part of it, and I think that kind of sold them on for me a little.
Yeah. So those are some of the stuff that you're like proud of participating with, or like that you're like happy that you got to
Yeah,
see. So then, what's
yeah.
what's something that Erin has taken away
Mm-hmm.
from Parchment or from just LARPing in general?
It's definitely gotten me to socialize more. Um, and it's gotten me to meet more people, which has been an issue for me. Uh, I've never been like the most sociable growing up, and LARP really helps. Um, but another thing I guess I took away from Parchment is just like kind of give me a minute.
No worries, no worries.
um, I'm trying to word this. Uh, I guess like just a bit more like respect and understanding of the dead and how they feel.
Oh yeah, like going into
I
mortality and stuff, or
Yeah.
oh, because you play a medium.
Um, I play a medium. Yeah.
Huh.
Um,
Yeah,
I
talk.
like some of the medium teachings just kind of resonated with me a bit, and I was like, all right, shit.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
I know that you
yeah,
went like medium because like you were like I want to play Goblin Medium because that sounds like
that sounds
counterproductive.
funny.
Yeah, like funny. But
But then I wrote the backstory, and I was like, oh, well, shit. Now this makes sense.
yeah, so like how have you liked them? Because medium is really we've had a bunch of paladins on, we've had a
Hmm.
bard, uh, and that's about it. Yeah, so like I think we could talk about medium here for a little bit if that's what has your
Yeah.
experience as a medium been?
Um. So when I first came into town, I was like, yeah, I want to be a medium. Ever, I think one of the first people to like give me a reality check was Tashka, They were just like, "Are you sure? Are
Talking
you
with dead
sure you
people
want
can
to
be
do this?"
traumatic.
Yeah, this is traumatic and it's scary. Be a paladin. Go be a paladin. I'm just like, no, I want to be a medium.
Yeah, everybody says go be a
uh,
paladin.
go be a paladin or something. I don't know. And Parchment just wanted to be a medium, like for like backstory reasons.
Have you found any
Uh,
fetters yet?
fetters I have not.
Oh,
I'm not too deep into the medium path. I am 3 skills in.
oh, okay, yeah. I was
I am
thinking of
at.
playing a medium.
It's real fun. I'm at Speak with Dead too. Um, I'm trying to learn Into the Ether right now from Tashka.
Oh, is Toshka
But
also a medium?
Tashka is also a medium.
Oh,
Um, they were going to teach me, but then they just didn't have time. That's all.
yeah.
Um, shoot, what was I gonna say? Um,
Into
yeah,
the
no.
ethereal.
Into the Ether is yeah. That's what I'm gonna learn next. But that's yeah. When I first came into town, people were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I sent a run for my mentor and or for a medium who became my mentor. And he basically gave me the same excuse me same speech and was like, "Are you sure you want to do this? This is very serious." Um,
The
so just
roleplay is
all
dead
around,
serious.
the roleplay is dead serious. And it's very fun. Um, the way I describe it is like medium is the roleplay the roleplay path. Um,
It's also
but
pretty not
also,
bad at all mechanically.
oh hell no. You can become whatever. If you can like do like a 10-minute concentration thing in a circle. Um, you can become like a not become. You can have a spirit of like a scion or a rogue or whatever inhabit your body, and you get full access to whatever skill pool that thing has and 25 pool. I think it's just a lower pool.
Which is nuts. It is an. If you guys are interested, go check out the medium video. We did a video on mediums when we went over the all the pathways. Like it is a
Yeah.
really cool pathway, and it has tons of roleplay. And I really don't think you're giving up any sort of like mechanical stuff either. You just get cool roleplay abilities on top of getting a cool. Like I want to do weapon mastery stuff today. Now I want to do knavery stuff. Now I want to do spirit stuff. Like that's pretty
I you
damn
can
good.
yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's you can either do uh you can conjure 3 of one type per day or one of each. So you can conjure like a spirit mage and then, let them go, conjure another, let them go, conjure another. And I might be wrong on this, so don't take my word. Don't take my word. I might be wrong. Um, and then you can, or you can just like conjure spirit mage and then conjure scion. I can't do that. Because even if you conjure a scion as a goblin medium, you still cannot use psionics.
Mm,
That is not a loop. That is not a workaround. Plot thought of that.
yeah, it's smart of them. It'd be weird to see a goblin casting
Anything
psionics.
anything that you can't do, you can't do if you like a conjure spirit. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
like if
no,
you
no,
have cannot use artisan, then you can't do the
can't.
production one.
Yeah,
There's a couple races that have cannot do production.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know Kesserin is the big one, but then there's another couple that have
Uh,
it too.
yeah, because they're the ones without fingers, right?
Those are channelers. I think
Those are channelers.
channelers have
Okay.
cannot use psionic. They have cannot wear armor, and then I don't know if they have cannot use
Can't
production.
they can't use weapons? I know that.
Oh yeah, that's probably the other one. Uh,
And they have claws.
yeah. So what is something you'd say to somebody who is just starting to play Shifted Lands and wants to get, more engaged with the game, or they want to jump in, and what would you say to them?
I'm gonna say what everyone else on this show has said. Are you ready? Are you prepared?
I'm so freaking ready.
All right, NPC. Um, just NPC. It gives you. That's one of the things that I didn't do because I just wanted to play Parchment, and I that worked for me. That worked for me. It probably won't work for you. Depends on who you are. Uh, but NPCing just gives you a good, you know, good look in how the game works, how different pools work. Uh, like I still don't know how Rogue works. I still don't know how Knavery works. Uh, so I'm gonna figure that out. Uh, and NPCing really helps you out in that endeavor. Instead of just one tricking a pool.
Yeah, like getting to know all the
um,
pools and the different skill sets
yeah.
and stuff.
So I would definitely NPC. I wouldn't say like go full in and get like garb, but like know what you want to get eventually. Because Parchment's first game, she had to wear wrap pants and a shirt that didn't really cover my stomach all the way,
Mm.
and the entire game. That's all I could think about was just my sides are showing. um,
But
so
now you
that
have like
was
a cool parchment
yeah.
dress.
Now I have a cool Parchment dress, and I'm fully decked out. I have to get like a better corset, but besides from that, I'm basically set. Um, so yeah, like NPC, know what your garb's gonna eventually be. You don't have to like get it, but like first game, but know what you want.
But look
Uh,
forward to your garb.
yeah. Develop your backstory at least a little. um, if you care about roleplay. Uh, I should probably put that asterisk in there if you care about roleplay. Um, I'm not really qualified to talk about what to do when entering Shifted Lands because I'm still entering Shifted Lands. I'm only a year in.
Yeah. Well, that's like
Uh,
how do you feel about that in particular? Like did you think it was pretty rough at the start, or how do you look back on that first year in terms of like your
um,
experience?
I felt like I could do less than what I can now. Um, but I wouldn't say it was a bad experience. It was definitely just like I gotta learn. I gotta learn, and I'll be as big as the others. Um, but I wouldn't say it was a bad thing. I just couldn't do a lot. I went on sorry, I went on some mods and all I could really do was heal, and I tried to hit people, but when I did, I went down.
As
um,
happens.
and as you do, and I was really bad with combat awareness. I've been told that I've been getting better with combat awareness. Um,
That's cool. That's like
but
an actual like thing you're coming out of the
yeah.
game with.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier. Um,
There's so many things that LARP
but
teaches you like underneath like your conscious level where you're like, oh well, now I need to be like doing math at the same time I'm swinging a sword, you know?
yeah, like when I'm having like an off period, I'm just like, all right, I use like this much pool, cool. I need to write that down earlier or later, and I don't write it down, but I just remember stuff. But I should probably write that down.
Yep. Battle
um,
boarded up.
battle boarded up. Um, oh geez, what was the question? I forgot.
Oh no, it was just talking about what would you say to new people, and I think we've covered that
Oh
pretty
yeah,
well. So did you have any
yeah.
closing thoughts that you wanted to talk about? Like if there's anything you wanted to talk about, we can jump into any pool, like any hole here.
Closing thought. Um, I have something, I swear. Um, I would say, um, come to Shifted Lands, please. We love new players, or at least I think we do. I'm
We
pretty
have
sure.
cookies
I
and
think we
wacky
do.
bats.
We have cookies, wacky bats. You can come in NPC, hit people, not too hard. Uh, and yell, yell skills at people,
Yeah. It'll be the
and you
best.
can get. It'll be the best.
It'll be the best freaking day of your life. I promise. Like
I
LARPing is so much fun.
best 2 days maybe,
Yeah. Well, hopefully,
if you can
the
do.
3-day event, man.
Yeah.
3-day events are nuts.
Mhm.
Well, thank you.
Um, gets you a lot of. Usually, you come out of it with like a couple silver if you're going on the big mods.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. I
Well,
have nothing more to say, but yeah,
fair enough. Well, thank you so much for this interview. Hopefully, some people got an idea of like what's it like to be a Goblin Medium. It's certainly a very
of
unique
course.
choice. And I think that adds to the character a whole lot,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Also, I feel like that just the name usually trips people up. Just like, oh, what's your name? Parchment. Okay, Parchment.
that doesn't
Like
sound like a Goblin
usually.
name.
No, it's not that it's like not a goblin name. It's just people usually have to like double back and be like, that's your name. Cool. All right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Erin, for being on this interview. If you guys
Hmm.
want to see anything about mediums or goblins, we have individual videos for both. And I'm sure that Parchment would love to meet you in game if you ever get the chance.
Watch both of them. The medium goblin army needs to grow. We
One
will
of
throw.
us. One of us.
One of us. We will overthrow town. Promise. Don't tell the town council I said this.
Yeah, don't let Papageno know.
Don't tell.
The
Don't tell.
Goblin
Don't let
Army is on the
Papageno know.
march. With that, we're off.
All right.